Hello Commanders and welcome to this video for Infinite Lagrange. Today will be a great day because we will talk about cruisers and we will look at a tier list. It was a lot of work. I had to wait to get the research agreement open again so that I can take all the pictures from the different ships that we do have. I had to write down all the different variants we have, put them into a list and rate them from S tier down to crap. So I hope you will enjoy this tier list. I will talk about the top tier ships and also the bottom of the tier list, and I will try to keep it short so it will not get too boring. And we will go directly into the tier list. You can see it here. I decided to show you all ships directly, so you already can check out where ships are that you might have, and you don't have to scroll through the whole video to find the part that might be interesting for you. So let's start directly now with the first S tier ship, the Chimera B variant. The Chimera B is amazing. It is a front row ship, so it will be used mainly as tank. The other thing is it does insane damage. It does some of the highest damage I saw from non-energy based ships. It is great. So two things it can do: it can tank and it can do damage. Therefore, this is for me one of the best cruisers we have. The second ship I have here is the IO, the A version. Why the A? So all IOs are front row ships, all IOs are energy based ships. Energy based ships are always something we do like a lot because most often we fight against ships with high armor, not with high energy resistance. But the IOA version does have a very high evade compared to the other IOs, and that is the that is the reason why I do rate it S tier here. So Chimera and IO both can go into the, or both are in the front row, and both have the ability to tank. Therefore, S tier, because they combine this ability together with amazingly high damage. Next, we do have the Chimera Chaos B version. The Chimera Chaos B is a unicorn for all the ships we have. I think it's the only ship, at least I didn't find another one. Correct me in the comments if you know a second ship that we have like this. It's the only ship we have that has an energy weapon and is in the back row. Now, you might say maybe the Xeno Stinger, but the Xeno Stinger is using UAVs, so I wouldn't count that as energy weapon. It has energy UAVs. So the Chimera Chaos. Crazy high damage, energy based, back row. That is what I want for my damage dealing ships. DPS in the back usually survives longer than in the front row or in the middle row. Energy based, and with these high damage numbers, it's just amazing. Really good ship. When we talk about damage dealing ships, the Callisto must be there also on top, and we talk about the B version. Not that the A version is bad, but the B version tops the A version, is doing even more damage, and the Callisto is it's a cruiser killer. The 60% additional damage versus cruiser just rips through enemy cruisers like hell. If there are no cruisers, the situation looks a little bit different, but it still does a lot of damage. So Callisto B, also S tier. And then the last S tier ship I have here is the B version of the Predator. Now, all Predators can bring aircrafts into the field for fighters. Yeah, for fighters for the Predator. But the Predator B does also bring in UAVs that will increase the hit rate of these fighters. So, therefore, not only bringing in a good amount of fighters, but also bringing in a second thing with the UAVs, and therefore S tier. So I want to say the order I put the ships in here is not how I see them sorted from like best S tier on least best S tier. I do have tanks here, DPS, and then I have a carrier ship. So I will also have this now in the A category. The first two ships in the A category are also frontline high armor ships. We do have the Chimera A version, which is still a very good tank. It just does a little less damage than the Chimera B version. That is why I put it in the A category. And the CAS, I was thinking if it might even be S category. The CAS is very, very good frontline tank. It does not do as much damage, but it is cheap. So if you want to build up a front line that you know will get destroyed, you know it will not survive, then the CAS is a very good choice because it is cheap to build. And when you're not in the complete endgame where resources do not matter anymore, the CAS might be even the better tank for you just to have enough resources to still be able to build your base. Now, next one, Callisto A version. Similar like the Chimera A version, it is more or less the same as the Callisto B that we have here in the S tier. It just does a little less damage, so therefore it came one section down. Then last we do have the Jaeger and the Predator. These are very good ships. They can bring in 4 corvettes for the Jaeger, 4 corvettes for the Predator. And doing this already brings them into the A category. The damage they bring in is not really great. Anti-aircraft unfortunately is not working. We will come to that also a little bit later in that video when we go down in the tier list. So main purpose to have them here is to bring in corvettes and fighters. If you do not have any corvettes and fighters, the Jaeger and Predator, also the S tier Predator, will not be anything you want to put in your fleet. Even if I rate the Predator B version S tier, if you don't have top tier fighters, it is not worth anything to bring it in. But if you do have, these are some of the best ships you can use to bring them in. And they do an amazing job. Now, the B category of our tier list has ships that are okay. There's nothing wrong with them. If you have them, you can use them. We do have the IOB version. It's front row. It does not have the high evade from the A version. It does do more damage, but as it's in the front row, it just is not really fitting. So that's the reason why the Chimera Chaos B version is so amazing. It is doing a lot of energy damage. It got very high damage output, but it's in the rear. Putting a damage dealer in the front row is not the best thing you can do. Now, if you build up a fleet that is flanking, so you have one fleet for tanking and you have one fleet that is just doing damage and does not need to tank anything, then this IO is still an amazing damage dealer. But these are special scenarios, and if we talk about special scenarios, we would have to do 20 or 30 different tier lists to cover all of this. Light Cone, Kanamara, Chaos A version. They're okay, they are good damage dealers, nothing amazing, but also nothing bad about them. When we now come to the C category, there we start to be, in the ships that I would not use if I don't have to. The Chimera C version, for example, it's in the middle row. It doesn't do enough damage to qualify as a DPS ship anymore, and therefore it just is not, it's not good enough if you ask me. Better to use one of the categories up here. They can do the things better than the Chimera C. The IOC special case, it's a siege damage ship. If you want to do a lot of siege damage, sure, this is nice, but as said, this is the same thing like the IOB, where you have a flanking fleet. It's a very special case. The CAS-066B as well as the CAS-066C version. Nothing wrong with them, but same thing. They are not good damage dealers. They are not good tanks. They are nothing. And the KCCPV 2.0, it's only up here in C category because it is an energy-based weapon, but it does not do a lot of damage. So it is, if you compare it to the Kanamara Chaos B or to the IO, also energy-based ships, it will look really, really bad. And I just put it here because it's energy based, you might have it. Now the D category, if you ask me, they are pretty useless. So the Jaeger B does not bring any corvettes into the fight anymore. It does not do good damage. We can take a quick look at these just to give you an idea why I rate them so poorly. So if we go back in our research agreement and we will take a look at the Jaeger B, it's an anti-ship type, but only with 9000 damage. So yes, you can upgrade it and so on and so on. But we were talking about high damage ships before, and let's just take a look at Kanamara Chaos B, for example. It comes with 16,000 damage, unskilled, and this is even energy damage. That's a complete different story. So coming in with 9,000 damage, that will not cut it. The same thing here, the heavy cannon, Chimera, 18,800 damage. That's twice as much as the Predator, as the Jaeger B. So I don't really understand where they do see the use case for that ship. But okay, it is what it is. If you see a good use case for it, let me know. I did not, so that's why I rate it really, really low. And the same thing for the other ships, the Light Cone B. The Light Cone B is also one of these ships. It's an anti-aircraft type, but we did try to use it, and I worked with null pointer on this. We did not really see it excelling in this position. Maybe one time they will fix it, they will make it working better, then we can put it higher, but at the moment I would just not do it. The other KCCPVs, they just suck. Yes, there is one type that can bring in corvettes, but only 2 corvettes. There are destroyers that bring in 2 corvettes, so why should I use a cruiser for that? Cruisers should bring in 4 corvettes. The last thing I have here, and for this I have to move a little bit out of the picture here. The Callisto C. I really had a problem putting the Callisto C there. It should be amazing. Let's switch back to the game and take a look at the Callisto C. Then I can sit normally in front of my screen again. Unfortunately, I do not have it, so I can't do a lot of testing there. The Callisto C is a support type, but it's not healing support. It does come with transport. 50% of the torpedoes have been removed for a UAV hangar. And then when we take a look here, it got area denial anti-aircraft UAVs, 2 of them. If they work, that is great. Anti-aircraft UAVs are something that can do some decent damage, but they only bring in 2 of them. And if we take a look at the anti-aircraft Xeno Stinger, we will see it brings in 4 of them. So I can't tell you if these are the same. They are called Stinger UAV systems, 3300 air defense damage per minute. And when we take a look again at the Callisto C, support type, anti-aircraft, support 3800. So it's a different. It's a Cat 3 aircraft pod, but it does the same air defense as a Xeno Stinger. But it cost us 20 command points, so I can't really see this to be top. If I ever get it, I will try it. If you have it and you use it, let me know. Does it work? Do the UAVs really shoot down the enemy aircrafts, or does it need to get attacked to finally work? Let me know about this, and maybe I will move it up a little bit. But from what I see, if it has a performance of a frigate, it's not worth much, and it belongs into the D category. Now, I hope you liked the video. I hope the tier list will help you. I know I will get a lot of comments. Why did you not rate this ship higher than that ship? Why is it in A? Why is it in B? Why is it in C? I try to explain it. I know there are special situations where one ship type might outperform the other. I tried to make it a well-rounded tier list. So if you have any of the ships in the S or A tier category and you use them, you should not do anything wrong. They are really good ships. They are all perfectly usable. I just put the S tier there because if you have the choice between like the Chimera A or the Chimera B, I would recommend you to use the B. Same thing for the Predator. Use the B. Surprisingly, it's a B version that's very often the best. So the Chimera, the Canamera, the Callisto, the Predator, all B versions. Very interesting. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know where you think I'm completely wrong with that tier list. And as always, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and then I'll see you on the next video again.